Hello and welcome to Canguro English. I'm Christian.
I'm Santi.
And this is the IELTS Academic Exam Speaking Masterclass. So today with Santi we are going to be simulating the IELTS speaking exam and also talking about techniques to help you move from a low band into a high band in the exam. So do you know a lot about the IELTS exam?
No,
No?
not so much.
Okay. Well then you don't know anything about the speaking part, really?
No.
Okay, good. Well, the speaking exam is divided into 3 sections.
Yep.
So part 1 is an introduction and interview.
Okay.
And this is when they will ask you questions about your life, where you live, your hobbies, your family, general, questions about yourself.
Yeah.
And this lasts about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how long you speak.
Okay.
Part two is different because in part 2,
Yeah.
the examiner will give you a piece of paper to look at.
Okay.
And on the piece of paper is written the question. Okay? And this is to get you to talk about something more specific. Okay? And also this is in the exam when when they catch you if you try to memorize answers.
Yeah.
Because some students, when they go to the exam, they memorize answers about, maybe where they live. But in this part, it could be about anything.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay? So in this part, you have 1 minute to prepare before you speak. So you can write notes, okay, which I recommend you do, okay? And then you have to speak for up to 2 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm not going to speak during this time. It's a monologue, okay? And then the third part is a discussion between you and I. Now, this is connected to part 2,
Yep.
but the idea is for you to talk about more abstract topics and ideas. So it's your opportunity to use more abstract structures, maybe some more abstract vocabulary. And again, this would be for 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how long you speak. Now, remember, everybody at home, that the number one thing, the most important thing is to follow the instructions, okay? So if I ask you to talk about something,
Yep.
you should talk about that thing.
I suppose.
And if I ask you a specific question, talk about that question. So, really keep to the subject. If I ask you, for example, if I ask you in part 1, where do you live? Or what is the most interesting part of your town?
Yep.
And you start talking about your grandma.
Yeah.
Okay, well no, that's a bad example. Maybe your grandma's a very interesting part of town. You start talking about, I don't know, the cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to keep to the topic, really important. Also, speak slowly.
Yes.
Okay, if you watch a politician delivering a speech, or if you watch any professional speakers, okay, they don't talk fast like in a conversation. They talk slowly and clearly.
Okay.
It's really important to try to really slow down today. Okay, and it's good because number 1, it gives you an opportunity to pronounce your words better.
Yeah.
It gives you an opportunity to think.
Yeah.
And it's just better for everybody, okay? Also, in the exam, it's okay to correct yourself. If you make a mistake and you go, oh, shit, that should have been the third conditional, not first conditional, you can change, okay?
Okay.
But I wouldn't recommend changing all the time, because then you sound bad. Also, if you don't understand, it's okay, you can say, I don't understand, can you repeat? Yeah?
Okay.
Today we're going to be using a very simple technique, and the technique is as follows. The first one is your opinion. I want your opinion, your personal opinion, okay? And this is part of what I said in the previous classes, tell the truth, okay? If I ask you, do you like pizza, but you hate pizza, say, I hate pizza.
Okay.
Be honest, okay? Because then this links into the second thing, which is an example. Any good conversation, not just an exam, but any good conversation, will always have stories from your personal experience about your life. And you can always find ways to relate your personal stories into the conversation. So I'm going to be showing Santi these cards when he's speaking to encourage him to first give his opinion and then to give some examples because it makes it more interesting. It means that you have more ideas, you can speak for longer. Okay? So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Now, normally in the other sections of the exam, like the writing, the reading, you need to really be super conscious of your timings.
Yeah.
Okay? But in this part, forget about it, because that's my job. So what you need to do is you need to speak for as long as possible. But we're going to put the timer for the people at home, so they can see how long you speak for. We're going to start with part 1. Okay? So part 1 is asking you questions about yourself. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, there's the timer. So, hello,
Hi,
I'm Christian.
I'm Santi.
Nice to meet you too. So, let's talk about your hometown or your village.
Yeah.
So, what kind of place is it?
It's a really small place. I don't know, it's pretty small, so...
Okay. So, Santi has made his first mistake right here, in that he has given a very short answer. So, remember that this exam is your opportunity to show off your English. Okay, so really you should be a very annoying person and speak so much that I have to say, whoa, shh, okay, stop, okay, let me stop you. Okay, so, now remember you can always talk specifically now about what kind of place it is.
Yeah.
Maybe you have an example of something which happened recently in your town? Or... Okay, so let's start again. So, what kind of place is it?
It's, like I said, a really small place, but it has lots of natural places to stay.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, it has a river very near the town.
Okay.
With parks and all of that, so then people can go with their dogs or their friends to stay at the summer and relax.
Okay, very good. So, what is the most interesting part of your town?
I suppose the river part.
Okay.
Because it's this isn't a very hot town,
Okay.
but in summer we are like 27 degrees at the evening.
Okay.
On the evening.
Okay. So now, Santi, it's your opportunity to give an example of maybe when you took advantage of this hot weather, or.
Okay. Yeah, because in the river people can swim and go there to relax and stay calm. But the bad thing is that the mayor doesn't seem to be very receptive to us, because the river is like full of shit. Sorry.
Okay.
And so people don't go there. They
Okay.
prefer the swimming pool because they can relax there and all of
Okay,
that.
very good. Okay,
So
thank you.
I think
Yeah, very good. So, see, it's now he's talking so much. I'm like, whoa, stop. Okay, that's perfect. Good. So yeah, in the exam, it's okay to use offensive language like shit. It's part of the very wide range of vocabulary we have in English. So, okay, great answer. So, how long do you think you've been speaking for, approximately?
To know.
How long does it feel to you?
2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay. Well, 3 minutes, 5 seconds.
Wow.
But, with interruptions, yes, maybe 2 minutes. So that's really good, okay? Because the examiner maybe won't ask you all of the questions because we only have 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, but that's good. You're really showing off your English and, okay, fantastic. So let's try another question. So, what kind of jobs do the people in your village do?
I don't know. Like I said, it's small, but people is not dedicated to only to grow their vegetables and all of that.
Okay.
We don't have like cows or all of that.
Okay.
For example.
So maybe now, now would be an opportunity where Santi can use his personal experience, and you can talk about what your mum or your dad does, or maybe brothers, sisters. you know, and it gives you an opportunity to give more rich detail, rather than trying to invent, you know, stories about what you think the general population do. Use a specific example, because then you can talk, you know, a long time with lots of detail. Okay.
For example, my grandparents lived in a village that is near to our town.
Okay.
And they grew vegetables, and they had cows and all that stuff that people have in the not very big cities.
Okay.
And then they came here because they are too old, so we can take care of them. But I think on weekends they go back to their town, because there they can have their normal life. Okay. So here is not a big opportunity to have that kind of job.
Okay, very good, excellent. Now, tell me, Santi, are you feeling a bit nervous?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are some symptoms? For example, are you sweating a little bit?
No.
No. Okay, not sweating.
It's not here.
Okay. Dry mouth.
Yeah.
Dry mouth. Yeah. So remember, don't forget to take a bottle of water to the exam. Yes. Okay. Because your dry mouth, it will make it more difficult for you to speak. Okay. Yeah. And maybe you feel a bit shaky, maybe, or
maybe, yes.
And maybe your mind is a bit, you
That's
know.
the worst.
The worst part, exactly. So now's your opportunity, okay, to take control of these nervous feelings. Okay. And stop. You should do this before the exam, not during. But just stop and say to yourself, breathe and say, these symptoms, the shaking, the dry throat, this is my body preparing me to perform this task, to do this exam. Okay? So take control of your symptoms and your nervousness will disappear, okay?
Okay.
So let's think, Santi. This dry mouth, this feeling of nervousness, the shaking, the confusion, this is your body preparing you for the exam.
Yeah.
Clear the mind, let's focus, let's move to band 9. Let's get the top marks, okay? So that's really good. So you can see Santi's doing really well in part 1, giving long answers. You're speaking slowly and clearly. It's really good. And your examples are great. Now let's move on to part 2. So I'm going to give you the card.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity, 1 minute, to write notes. Now, you don't have to write notes. But I recommend that you write not sentences, okay? Because you don't want to be speaking and then looking at your sentences. Just keywords. You know, the first ideas that appear in your mind, so that if you run out of things to talk about, you can just look, see a word, and then start talking. So, do you want to read the question?
Okay. Describe something you own which is very important to you. You should say where you got it from, how long have you had it, what you use it for, and explain why it's important to you.
Okay, very good. So, now you have 1 minute to write some key words about this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good, that's 1 minute. Perfect. So can you read the words you have on here for me, please?
Computer.
Computer, okay.
1 week. Mm-hmm. Problems with CD reader.
Okay.
Expensive. Mm-hmm. Objectives, mm-hmm. Are play and university. Mm-hmm. And future inversion.
Okay, excellent. So I think this is perfect. You know, you have maybe 10 or so keywords, not full sentences, and you know, you don't have to use them.
Yep.
You know, it's just if you get stuck, you can look and you go, oh, okay, there's some ideas. So remember, I'm not going to help you at all. You have 2 minutes to speak. Okay, and you know, just keep going, and remember, this is what we want to do. We want to use your opinion. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean I think computers are good. You know, we're talking about you know, what do you think computers in general? You know, you can talk about why it's important to you.
Yeah.
Where you got it from, and lots of examples. Okay, which I think you have here. You're ready to give lots of examples. Okay, so tell me some stories. Don't invent things. Tell the truth, and no problem. So are you ready?
Yeah.
2 minutes. Okay, here we go.
Okay. I'm talking about my computer that I bought like 2 weeks ago. I had some problems when I bought it because I didn't decide to install a CD reader because I thought, well, I'm not using it. But I had problems because I had to install my drivers of the components of the computer and all of that. And I had some stuff there that had me troubled, and I had to take the computer to a shop and all of that. Then it was pretty expensive, like 1,000 euros, because it's like a future inversion. I like to have it because I'm going to the university now and my laptop failed, so I need a computer, and also because I like video games and then I can play there like with good quality and good terms of service and all of that. I would only recommend it to people that really like video games because it's a very hard inversion.
Okay.
Which
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, okay? Because, so 1 minute 20, okay? So we're more than halfway, okay? And this is very common, okay? Because this is your first time doing the speaking test. But the number one rule, remember the number one rule is to follow the instructions, okay? So what you really need to talk about is you need to say, where did you get it from? How long have you had it? You said this, you said I bought it 1 week ago. And what you use it for. And explain why it's important to you. Okay? So I think it's really important, okay, in the exam, that you really follow the instructions, that I can, at the end I can go, okay, tick, 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 yes, 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 yes. So this is your structure, and these are your ideas. So should we try again?
Okay.
Okay.
From the beginning. Okay.
From the beginning, okay? Ready? Let's go.
I'm talking about my new computer that I bought from an online shop that I think the real shop is in Murcia.
Okay.
That's in Spain, but far away.
Okay.
And I bought it like 2 weeks ago, but I have some problems because I didn't decide to install a CD reader. So I had to take it to a shop to install some stuff, and I didn't use the computer like until last week, so it was not good. I decided to bought it because I like video games, so I like to use it to play video games and to have a computer to go to the university because my laptop completely died, it's broken. And it's very important to me because I always played video games on bad devices, so I have low quality like in the screen, and I had always problems to play with my friends and all of that, so now I can have good conditions in that way.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to stop you. So now we're 1 minute 15.
Yeah.
I think that you could easily continue to talk for 2 minutes. But I know, as an examiner, that you have answered all the questions.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. Okay. So yes, very important that you follow the instructions. So very nice, very nice. Good job, good job. So far we've done 2 sections of the exam.
Yeah.
Now an important part of moving up a grade, okay, really is also your vocabulary, because actually you speak without hesitation. Like you don't have to think a lot before you speak, so that's really good. But maybe we could improve your vocabulary, and the best thing to improve your vocabulary is dictionary of synonyms. Yes. So, for example, we could look up inversion here, your investment, and we could find some synonyms. Or here, if you want to talk about, it's probable in the exam they will ask you about your hometown.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to say your hometown is, I don't know, old, then you could look up some synonyms in here for old, just to really help you to find some vocabulary to insert.
Yeah.
Yeah? And also another important part are your structures, which I think I can see you're using a lot of structures, conditionals and past, present, switching, so that's really good. I did think you were speaking maybe a little bit fast.
Yeah.
So just, it's okay to slow down. It's okay. Good. So now the final part, Santi. The final part. So the final part is a discussion between you and I.
Yeah.
4 to 5 minutes. Okay. And this is to talk about more abstract ideas.
Yeah.
So we'll probably be using more the conditionals because we're talking about, abstract concepts. Maybe more the passive. It depends. Okay, so let's consider... Oh, and also this is connected to part 2, to things that are important to you. Okay, so let's consider first of all how people's values have changed. So what kind of things give status to people in your country?
Sorry? I didn't understand.
Okay. Very good, very good. So he doesn't understand, he asked me. Perfect. What kind of things give status to people in your country?
Okay. In my country, unfortunately, the value of people is very conditioned by their money.
Okay.
So if they have a very good car or a boat, people thinks that they are very clever or they do well in business and management and all of that.
Do you think that is the same in all countries or just in your country?
I think in all of them or near all of them, yeah.
Okay. 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 So now we have this maybe little bit of a pause in the conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe I want you to speak more. Remember, I always want you to speak more. So can you give me an example maybe of this in your country? Yes.
For example, when I bought my computer, my friends started to yell because it was a expensive one, and I decided to bought it to help me in the things, in my hobbies and all of that.
Okay.
But it's not what really makes me happy. Like, it helps me to play and to be nice, but I'm very happy with my friends or all of that. Okay. So it's not material things are not only the stuff that it's important to the happiness. Okay. Very good. Excellent. So, have things changed since your parents' time? Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. Because my parents were born in a political situation that required to be quiet, not to move or to express your opinion in public. So we have more freedom now. Okay. And we have more acquisitive potential. Okay. So we can buy normally we can buy what we like to. Okay. But that has bad parts because we are like, if we don't know how to manage frustration. Mm-hmm. Because if you like to buy something and you can't afford it or the situation doesn't...
Yes, exactly, more difficult. Okay, very good. So finally, let's talk about the role of advertising. So do you think advertising influences what people buy?
I think good advertising influences people. Okay. Because if you see a bad ad, like that ones that you see on TV at late night,
yes.
Talking about the product one time and time.
repeating. Yes,
that's not very influential. Maybe yes, if you are an old woman that stays at her house, but I think good advertising really helps you to buy something. Okay,
so now would be a perfect opportunity for you to put in an example of when maybe some advertising convinced you to buy something.
For example, I know that I think it's in Germany, like a prize for the best advertising of the year. Okay. Of great big campaigns and all of that. And I saw that it was the winner of last year. It was a picture of a hedgehog between water balloons. Like the water balloons were in an arrow, and the hedgehog was in the middle of them, and they were announcing the system of a car that allows the car to park without without driving.
So automated parking system.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like if 1 centimeter could pop. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a great story, and that's a great way for Santi to incorporate his experiences into the exam, and it makes it easier for you to speak as well. Really good, really good. So a couple of things about your pronunciation.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you really need to watch the differences in your B and your V.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and also make sure that that you also with your TH.
Yeah.
Like if you say, for example,
That.
that, yes, and that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a problem with that.
Yes, exactly. So, and this kind of help, specific technical help, you're only going to get from obviously an English teacher. So it's good to find a good English teacher to help to prepare you for the exam.
Okay.
But I think for me, I'm not a Cambridge examiner, but I would give you a band 1000. Hopefully that will help you to increase your score in the IELTS exam and also to understand more about the format of the speaking exam. Thank you very much, Santi.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you would like to see any more classes about grammar, examinations, vocabulary, pronunciation, anything, don't forget to subscribe to Canguro English. We'll see you in class.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.